meteorologist Jamie Warner, certified by Weather8 for the most accurate forecast in the Ozarks.
Well, you've heard us use the expression broken record to describe a pattern. We've certainly been in that kind of mode really for like the last, well, a little over a week now. Today was day number 9 of sunny skies, 66 degrees. Temperatures this morning chilly again in the mid 40s here in Springfield. Afternoon highs warm, upper 70s and low 80s, 82 today in Springfield. So as we look at our 10-day temperature trends, you can see going back to late September, now into the early stages of October, we've had a nice mild stretch of weather that came with sunny skies. Temperatures starting to creep a little higher, and it looks like we're going to be running a little bit above normal in this pattern going forward through much of this upcoming work week. Outside right now, skies are clear. It is quiet. This is all compliments of the steady northeast flow that keeps pumping in this very dry air across the area, keeping conditions basically as they've been. Again, we've been looking at a very quiet, clear pattern for over a week now, and it looks like that's going to continue into Monday. Looking at tonight's weather, it looks like we'll find starry skies overnight tonight. Tomorrow, we're going to find sunny skies again from start to finish. In fact, I really don't think we're going to see a hint of any cloudier conditions until maybe late Tuesday going into Tuesday night. Temperatures tonight will be cool again by morning. Looks like we'll dip into the upper 40s and low 50s, about 48 for a low in Springfield. Here's your forecast for Monday as you're heading out tomorrow morning, getting ready for work. A cool start to the day. You probably want a jacket. Nice walking weather if you don't have to work in the morning. 9 o'clock temperature 61 with sunny skies, going to feel awful nice. 71 by 11 o'clock. Early afternoon will be in the mid 70s, and as we creep through the 3-4 o'clock hour, looks like we'll top out in the low 80s again tomorrow afternoon. Again, keep in mind sunny skies start to finish. Afternoon highs looks like they're going to be in the upper 70s east to low 80s to the west. 81 again here in Springfield. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if we don't squeak out maybe another day with a high of 82. Winds are going to be light out of the southeast initially, becoming more easterly as we work through the afternoon hours. Let's talk about this pattern this upcoming week, because we are going to find some subtle changes as we work through the week. Now, over this past week, this has been the pattern. We've had high pressure parked near the Great Lakes. We've had low pressure here in the southeastern United States associated with Ian, and now with the remnants of Ian and a nor'easter that's developed here off the East Coast. So that squeeze play that we've had between these two areas of pressure have generated the steady northeast flow. I like to call this the dry weather pipeline, and it remains open. This will keep our pattern quiet through Monday into Tuesday. When will we find a shift in the pattern? Well, it looks like by Wednesday of this week, we'll see a little dip in the jet stream moving to the middle of the country. And that's going to push a cold front into the area. Now, that front's likely going to wash out and have virtually no impact on our weather outside of generating some cloud cover on Wednesday. So when we've had such a quiet, clear pattern, yeah, that's something of note. Looks like we'll find partly cloudy skies on Wednesday, but little, if any, chance for any wet weather. Then another cold front will set up and drop south into the area late Thursday. Again, not expecting any rain with it, but we will likely find maybe some cloud cover Thursday afternoon into Thursday evening. The bigger story with this is that it will usher in, I think, the chilliest batch of air yet as we wrap up this work week and head into this upcoming weekend. What does that look like in your 7-day forecast? Well, on the front end of this, things are looking kind of warm for early October with highs in the low 80s. Overnight lows creeping out of the upper 40s back into the 50s. And then after Thursday, 65 for a high on Friday. That's a cool day with sunshine. And on Saturday, we're going to find morning lows in the 30s. In fact, while we had a few places get into the 30s last week, I think this will be our most widespread round of 30s this coming Saturday morning, including the Springfield area. And I would not be surprised if we don't see some areas dealing with some patchy frost to start the day off on Saturday.
That's what I was going to say. Going to start seeing some frost. But I mean, it's a toss-up whether we're going to get fall, whether we're going to have heat into winter. And I've had my AC off for 2 weeks now, so I'm not complaining. It looks like we're getting a fall this year.
Even with highs in the low 80s the next several days, probably don't have to use the AC. I mean, humidity levels are remaining very, very low. And again, you can see later in the week that cool down. The one other thing to talk about in this very quiet weather pattern is how dry it's been. The drought continues to worsen. And so folks need to be very mindful if you're doing any brush burning, things like that, because that could start a fire pretty quickly.
Burning those leaves, not the best time for that yet.